What's up, guys? Today on SpewCast, we're going to be drafting the 10 most important things for the show to get right.
We're going to dive deep into a Reddit thread.
And we're going to read some owl posts from the homie James. Thanks for coming. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of SpewCast. We're your hosts. I'm Alex.
And I'm Nicole. I'm very happy about the fact that it's not just our parents that watch this. Actually, I don't think either of our parents got through the episode because technical difficulties, at least for my mom. Hi, Mom. All right.
Yeah, so today we're going to be starting things off with a little fun game. We're going to be drafting the 10 things we can't live without in the show. So that's going to be, I guess, I'll pick, and then you pick.
Yeah, you
and
go
we
first.
go through until we each have 5.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that'll be fun to do.
And intimidating, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. So we got right here in front of us a little list we compiled.
Here we go.
We just brainstormed to try to get everything we could think of that we can't live without. Mm-hmm. And so with my first pick of what I think is the number one thing I can't live without, I choose that I want them to show characters and plot lines, introduce characters and plot lines before they're necessary. So for instance, in the 4th movie, you meet Cedric Diggory, but he's been a student this whole time while Harry's been at Hogwarts, and he's faced him in Quidditch, he's seen him in the halls, but we've never seen him in the movies. We haven't really been introduced to him. So to me, I want them to introduce, Cedric, introduce Cho a little earlier, all these characters and some plot lines.
We want more Cedric.
Yeah,
Definitely more Cedric,
yeah,
especially if he looks the same as he did in the movies.
It's a great opportunity to have more characters that you care about rather than just Harry, Ron, Hermione.
Yeah, for sure. We have more time.
To me, this is probably this is something that could take a show from being good or great to top tier.
I agree. That was a good pick. Are we done with that one?
Yeah, my question is, are you glad I chose that because it wasn't your number one, or is that...
That was up there. I don't really know what my number 1 or number 2 or any of them are. I'm just going to choose this because I get really hyped about it. I don't even know if it's my most important one. And I think that Cho should be made much worse in this series because she was way too good. Okay, let me take it back a step. So in the books, I despised Cho. I thought she was the most annoying person ever. And then in the movies, she's just hi, I'm Cho. And she was hardly in the movies. And I think she needs a bigger presence, but in a terrible way. So, and it's just something that's always bothered me.
What's interesting about that to me is in the movies, they gave Cho the part that in the books was her friend's fault, where she her friend tags along to the DA meetings, and then her friend is the one that rats them out and gets I think it says rat on her face and pimples. Shout out Hermione for that one. In the movies, that's Cho who rats on them, so you're supposed to hate her more, but somehow in the books she's still more annoying.
Her character developed into just more annoyingness throughout the books. So yeah, I chose that one, even though it's not the most important, but it's the one that I get probably the most annoyed about. So
okay, well that's good because I feel like you gave me my second most important still. You let me have it, so thank you. Mm-hmm. To me, it's the downtime. It's all my favorite, the thing I look forward to most, my favorite part of the books. It's not the crazy plot or the foreshadowing or anything like that. It's when they chill in the common room and they're doing homework, or they're in class and they are talking or whatever in the back of class when Professor Binns is teaching. It's when by the way, Professor Binns.
We need.
Yeah, he wasn't in the movies either.
No.
But yeah, it's stuff like that where they're just they should be studying for their owls, but instead they're just doing whatever the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's all that downtime to me, it just like feels
It sets the vibe.
It sets the vibe. It's the feel of Hogwarts.
For sure.
And Hogwarts being a main character in the Harry Potter world, I think that's key to pulling that off. So I really hope they have a lot of that.
Yes.
There's a reason Hogwarts and Harry Potter ASMR is such a big like YouTube category.
Gosh, that's true. You saying. Love that.
Yeah, I do.
We've had that going in our family room before. It's nice. Okay. That one was definitely up there on my list. I mean, these are all up there, which is why they're on the list in general. I would say Ginny. Okay, I'm like focusing on the girl characters, but that's okay. So we do have on the list Get the Weasleys Right, which is obviously important. The Weasleys are like just a big part of the books and the movies, just all of them. And they were cast so well in the movies. So we need to cast them really well again. But the big thing for me is that Ginny was such a badass in the books. She was easily my favorite character in the books. She knew who she was, and she was really good at Quidditch, which I feel like,
And the Bat Bogey Hex.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Like, she was awesome. And then in the movies, I'm like, Ginny.
And what's but bummer is like she's a fine actress.
Yeah. I have nothing against her.
She wasn't really given a chance to act.
Right.
They're like, all right, now whisper something awkwardly, and all right, that's good. All right.
And I forgot, wasn't she like she like was boy crazy kind of in the books?
Yeah, there's a whole like subplot of jealousy
just
with
as
Ron.
we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I could go for some of that. I like the drama, but I don't want to get too much into that either. Anyway, so Ginny needs to be cast correctly, but also just needs a bigger role. What'd you say about Ron? So
Ron, this is something that fires me up. There's a great YouTube video. I think it's the Super Carlin Brothers or something. It's like a deep dive on how much the movie screwed over Ron's character. And it's basically just like they turn him from like the strong backbone friend of the friend group who is like their fill-in on everything wizarding world that like the muggle-born / raised as a muggle wouldn't know. They take all that stuff that Ron has in the books and give it to Hermione, give a little to Harry, and then leave Ron as just like comic relief.
The joke.
It's like the obvious one is they're still young actors. It's the scene with the eat slugs and it backfires on Ron. And then Emma Watson gets her first big line where she's like, mudblood, it's a really foul word. And she goes through all up. That's Ron.
Yeah.
In the books, that's Ron. He stood up for Hermione by using the eat slug spell. And then it backfires on him. And then he goes on to explain it to Harry, while Hermione knows like the essence of it being a bad thing, but like being a book person, she may not know slang like that.
Yeah.
So Ron knows, living in this world, raised in this world, what a mudblood is, and he's fired up about it. And there's a million other cases, like the Devil's Snare in the first book. So Hermione's like, Devil's Snare, I mean, we need a fire, but there's no wood. And Ron's like, are you an idiot? You're a witch, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like Ron's the cooler head prevailing.
Right.
And Hermione. So yeah, I mean, it goes throughout the whole series and really keeps getting worse.
Yeah, he's just great in like the chess scene.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That was his.
They give him that,
but
and then he's just sort of comic relief, and that like all that stuff makes him leaving them in Deathly Hallows more heartbreaking in the books.
Yeah.
And like it just, his character just becomes so almost pointless as a comic relief in the movies, where it's like it's just terrible.
Even though we love him,
and we love Rupert. It's nothing against Rupert Grint. His acting was great.
Yes.
It's just the writers or directors or whatever.
Yeah, could have been different.
Yeah, and I hope will be.
Yes. What else? Oh yeah, obviously the Weasley twins. We already talked about them in episode 1, I think, and we just love them. So the actors were amazing. They're so funny in the books. Like, I don't often laugh out loud at things, and I laughed out loud so many times with the Weasleys. I don't know. I might be like Ginny and Weasley twins and then Ron, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. But Mrs. Weasley, Molly.
Oh, so good.
Oh man, they're all so important.
They cast the Weasleys really well. In the movies.
We need more of the Weasleys.
Yeah, we're missing a Weasley.
We're missing a Weasley.
We're missing a Charlie.
So I think that whole, like, all of that is very important. Just the Weasleys in general.
All right, I like that. It's probably like tied for what I'm going to choose now, which is the end of the whole series. I mean, I guess minus the epilogue, the Battle of Hogwarts. Harry, like the spell backfiring on Voldemort. Yeah. He dies. He turns into a bunch of ashen butterflies and flies away. Like, no. He falls with a thud like a dead human. That's how it has to be. You got to get that
There's
right.
There's a lot of complaints on that.
The whole battle where they he grabs his head and they fly around. It's the tour of Hogwarts. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
The battle needs help.
It's supposed to be like this gritty, intense battle in like the Great Hall, but instead it's this weird like ballet dance turned magic fluttering butterfly of ash.
Yes.
So, yeah, get that right, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. We want to end on a good, we want to end on a goodish note. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel
like that's like a tear break.
Yeah.
That's like those were some of the most important things.
I guess I'll do, we are called the SpewCast. So I'm going to choose Spew next, which a lot of people don't. I was reading Reddit the other day, went down a real rabbit hole, and I know a lot of people don't. They were saying they didn't really care about Spew, but I think it's really important for different reasons. So obviously, I love the elves, so... first of all, maybe I should say what that stands for, because some people may not have read the books. So it's the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Warfare. Warfare, not elvish, right?
Welfare, not warfare.
What did I say? Warfare? I didn't say warfare. I said welfare. Warfare. Wait, did I say warfare? All right. Anyway, we care about the elves, obviously, but this whole thing really develops Hermione as like a character, and whatever brings me closer to thinking about Emma Watson. Let's be honest. I think that like Emma is such a known philanthropist, and I find that Hermione is so similar in that. So sorry, I keep thinking about warfare. Also, because I'm a romantic and I care about relationships in this book, it leads to her kissing Ron, and I think that was just a mess in the movies. So
it's in the book when he's like during the Battle of Hogwarts, he's like, well, what about the house elves? Are they like in the kitchens, are they okay?
Right. And she's like, oh, he cares. So like, I mean, aside from him calling it Spew, even though SPEW. Yeah. But I think that's important. So I'm going to go with Spew.
I like it. I was one of the people who kind of finds it annoying in the books, but it's not something I would take out.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I'm like, come on.
Drop it. That's another side of Hermione. Like, you're supposed to find her like kind of like, okay, eye roll. And I feel like that's like, I don't know, I feel like that's important. So
all right, I'm going to keep the ball rolling on house elves. To me, it's the greater house elf world in the Harry Potter show. There's like the missing house elves. There's, what's her name? Winky. Winky, not in the movies, pretty big in the books. I mean, as far as house elves go.
Yeah.
There's, in like the memories that Dumbledore and Harry are going through, there's Pokey, the house elf, when I think it's like Hufflepuff's cup, I believe.
Literally do not remember.
It's that lady who's like showing Tom Riddle, Voldemort, like her prized possessions, and she has the house elf Pokey.
Oh, yep.
Obviously Creature, which Creature has like this crazy great backstory with Regulus, and like it's completely unexplored. And not on top of that, I would argue he has the best character development of anyone in like the last 3 books.
Yeah.
Like he goes from someone you hate in book 5, or even was it book 5 that he's in? Yeah, book 5.
Yeah.
Like you hate him. He just sucks. He's always like groaning about like the mudbloods in his house. His master would be so disgusted.
I literally remember we were listening to that like first part when he's like first introduced, and we were listening to the audiobook, doing like folding laundry, and I was like, I literally hate him. And Alex was like, oh, you won't actually hate him forever. I had read up to like book 5, but I hadn't read the rest, so I didn't know that he was gonna change so much, and I was gonna end up just like loving him. And it just like sticks out in my brain because I was just like, I literally hate this character so much.
Yeah.
So for him to change that much.
His like he really, like, he's one of those memories I think back when I think back to like the later books where I'm just like, man, I love Creature.
Yeah. He's actually really funny too.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird character.
I think they did well with like his I don't know, his voice actor and like animation in the movies, the way he would like just audibly talk under his breath with like the people there very clearly.
I love that.
Yeah, so I mean, they did him well. They just cut short his backstory and character development. Mm-hmm. So you're up. What you picking?
I'm between 2. There's an obvious last place in this. I guess I'll talk about relationships because I chose this one for our list, but it's really between 2 of them that I think are important. But mainly the relationship I was thinking about most when I chose this was Tonks and Lupin, and I thought their relationship was so interesting in the books, and I thought Tonks was such a cool character, and I feel like she wasn't explored well in the book or the movie. And I think that they could do a lot with her character and who she is in this series because it's going to be longer. Also, Lupin is like one of my favorite characters. So
I love Lupin.
Yeah.
We can always use more Lupin.
Yeah, like he's like the only genuine good guy in like their friend group.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like the core 4 of like Lupin, Sirius, James, and Pettigrew, like in the Marauders group.
Yeah.
It's like Sirius is like boyish and charming and like the rogue whatever.
Some trouble.
Yeah, and James is like the
main
character, big trouble.
Yeah.
Pettigrew's just like the annoying tag along, and Lupin's just perfect.
He's awesome.
Lupin's great. He's just like a wholesome good guy. So yeah, I mean, I'm always down for more Lupin screen time. I hope they cast him well.
Yeah, me too.
So these final 2, I think you might find funny what I choose to talk about.
I am going to find it funny if it's, yeah.
It's Ravenclaw.
Yeah, that's funny.
I want them to do, it's just so dumb to me that it's described in the books that Ravenclaw is an eagle.
Yeah. Wait,
And
can you
yet-
explain why again?
Well,
I don't
so
really understand.
it's the breakdown is, I believe, Ravenclaw just means raven means black and claw, black claw, and eagles have black claws.
Yes. Okay.
It's like, I mean, Gryffindor is a lion. It's not a griffin.
That's true. That's really confusing.
I don't know why
Thanks,
they took
J.K.
one.
Rowling.
I don't know why they took one of the names so literally.
I know.
But it's like, why change it? It's predetermined. It's literally like already an existing thing, but they changed it, and now it's all over like their like merch that they sell for Ravenclaw. I want them to get it right. They got it right in Hogwarts Legacy.
There you go.
So
Good job.
That's a good sign. But I mean, I'm holding out for the show.
I'm shocked that this is not actually our last one. This is actually really important.
It is really important.
I think we just wanted to talk about the other things more. So our last one on this list is casting the core 3 well, which is obviously like probably one of the most important things for this whole show. But a lot of what we've talked about when it comes to the core 3, meaning Harry, Ron, and Hermione, is that we want them to be kids. Like, we prefer that they're like 11.
Yeah, a lot of these fan castings, people are like,
Yeah.
how's this person? And she's like playing Hermione. She's like 17.
Yeah, like,
and
no.
How's this for Ron? And he's like already book 6 Ron. Like, come
Right.
on.
Right. And like if they can be British, that'd be cool. I don't know if an 11-year-old American actor or actress can do like a really good British accent. If they can, then okay, like whatever. But we also doesn't agree. But we also talked about lost my train of thought.
Well, so I'll talk about something about the core 3 casting is it's going to be hard
off the street. We want them to be off the street.
Okay, well, yes. Not what I was going to say, but yeah, I would love it to be someone with very little to no experience.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is it's going to be hard to know, obviously, because they're kids. But, like, if they could somehow make them more book accurate, like Ron being lanky and tall instead of, like, super short.
Right.
Obviously, Harry's eyes, we talked about in the last episode, they can get them right. I think they can do it.
I think so.
And his hair, I think they can do it.
I don't think it's that difficult.
And maybe his hair shouldn't be brown, like a dark brown. It should be jet black. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's important, but it's going to be hard to pull off with, like, when you're casting 11-year-olds. So I'm not going to hold them up to that too much. I think that's part of why, to me, this fell to the end of our draft.
Yeah.
Is because it's like they're probably going to cast young kids, and
I hope so.
Hopefully.
I think they will too. I think they will.
Yeah.
Because they must know how important it is, and like to us viewers. So
yeah, I mean, if you look at movie 2, which was filmed like directly after the finishing of movie 1, like they already look so much older.
Yeah, we talked about
kids
that.
At that
they
age,
look so different.
Yeah, kids at that age like age fast. So
they do. Yeah. Weird thing that came to mind about the whole welfare warfare thing was like Diagon Alley. You know how they got that wrong?
Ooh.
What?
You're saying like Diagon Alley.
Yeah, like
instead of like in the book.
When someone hears it wrong.
In the book, Harry like clambers into the fireplace and like soot gets in his face, so he like coughs while he's saying Diagon Alley.
Yes.
And that's why he ends up in Nocturne Alley instead of just like deciding to pronounce it really stupidly.
Diagonally.
Right after Mrs. Weasley tells him to make sure he pronounces it right.
Yeah, like what? They couldn't have done it
you've
correctly?
known for over a year now that it's Diagon Alley, and Mrs. Weasley just told you to make sure you say it right. So you go, Diagonally.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Anyway, that was
Tangent.
Random. Tangent. Yep.
But you want to dive in on some Reddit?
Yeah. Okay, do you want me to?
Yeah, so you send me this, so I'd like to see what you have to say about it.
So I was just randomly looking at Reddit, which I've been doing a lot lately, and one of these kind of stuck out to me, so I'm just going to read it because it says, the one exception that I hope and pray for is that the OG cast do us a solid and reprise their roles for 19 years later. If I watch this show for 10 years and that doesn't happen, I think I might set my Lego Hogwarts on fire. And then the comment after that is, I'd rather see Daniel Radcliffe cast as James if he's willing to commit to more than the epilogue. And no reason Rupert couldn't be Arthur. Emma Watson doesn't have any similar looking characters off the top of my head, but if I had to fan cast her, I'd say Trelawney would be a nice bit of irony. So there's a lot to unpack, I feel like.
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start with Harry in the 19 years later.
I would be fine with that.
I think...
I don't know that I'd set my Lego Hogwarts on fire because I really like my...
We need a Lego Hogwarts.
I have it at my parents' house.
We need a new Lego Hogwarts that we built together.
We need to rebuild.
A real bonding experience.
Yes. I agree.
But I guess my opinion is, the only thing I think of is, like, these kids that they choose may grow up looking pretty different, like, facial characteristics-wise, where I'm like, I'd rather them pick someone right. Rather than making it kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But it would be, like, kind of nice as a fan, like, to get that one final, especially 10 or probably, like, 12 plus years from now, when you're like...
They're going to be similar age to what they're supposed to be.
Not only, but, like, you'll have, at this point, finished the whole series in show form. It's going to be the most Harry Potter content we've had in our lives that we will have consumed. and then it'll be a callback to when we were kids because we're gonna be like kind of old. So we'll be like in our 40s.
Yeah, we're gonna be in our
So it'll be like a callback to when we were kids.
That's insane.
And it'll probably be really touching. So
I mean, I hope I don't think they will do it, but I would love that.
I mean, there's a lot of time for like their feelings and opinions on this to develop. So I'm not going to count it out, but
yeah,
I think it would be nice. I mean, I kind of had a different opinion on this when you first sent it to me. My opinion was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But that would be nice.
Yeah, I would like it. I'm cool with that. I just liked the comment in general. What about, would you rather see Daniel Radcliffe cast as James? If he wanted to do it. We know he wouldn't probably want to do that, but...
This one, I don't care about.
I think I'd actually rather James be someone else. I don't think I want it to be Daniel Radcliffe.
I guess it depends. What are we talking about? Because, like, are we talking about Dad James, like the few glimpses we get of older James? Because it wouldn't make sense for Daniel Radcliffe to be student James.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm thinking Dad James.
Okay, so he's hardly in it.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So I
guess it doesn't matter.
Don't care that much about this one.
I'm not that, like, tied to Daniel Radcliffe. Like, I'm not like, it needs to be him. Having Emma Watson as Trelawney is like the funniest thing. We know Emma Watson would not be in the show at this point.
Yeah, she's
outspoken
about being against it.
But that would be hilarious. So I'd love to see her as that type of character.
It would be. I mean, when I first read, I was like, yeah, I guess that's just kind of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Like they're just trying to force her into the part. But then when they said like, it would be pretty ironic or whatever, I was like, it'd be kind of funny for that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Ron really fits Arthur too much.
No,
I mean,
unless
Rupert,
maybe he's I don't know.
I mean, he's an actor, and we've seen him play a few different parts.
That really scary show,
the Doll Baby show.
Yeah,
and he plays like a guy with a Boston accent that he kind of pulls off and kind of doesn't, or maybe it's a New York accent, but I don't know. I'd rather them cast the right person rather than like a fan service for Arthur. It's one thing if it's a side character, but if it's someone like Arthur, who to me is more important. Yeah, I don't know. I want him to be the right guy. Yeah.
It's going to be all a new cast anyway, but we'll see. All right, cool.
So we actually have some owl post from a viewer.
Yay.
All right, so shout out to the homie James.
Yay.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. He has two thoughts or questions that we're going to talk about. The first one is, should they be casting only British people? And I think the precursor of this to know, if you don't know, is that J.K. Rowling, when they were first filming the original movies, was pretty adamant that they stay true to casting only British people for like the main British characters.
Wait, was anyone not British?
Well, so I'm just saying like McGonagall, I think might be...
Is she supposed to be Scottish?
I don't know. I mean, the origin of the name McGonagall, I feel like isn't British, so...
Okay.
Don't know.
So that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, no, but that's what I'm saying. I think that aside from the characters that are meant to not be British...
Okay.
Like, is Karkaroff supposed to be British? No. He's supposed to be...
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
Bulgarian or maybe Russian. I don't know. But anyways.
Yeah.
My opinion on this, which I think might be different from yours based on earlier this episode.
We're
my
mostly
opinion
the same, but
is that yes, absolutely, I want them to only be British, 100% the same as the movies. Prioritize British actors because it will keep it authentic. It'll like take away the chance of HBO trying to get a big name just for the sake of like bringing in an audience.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just worked really well the first time. I don't see why you choose a different route
there's enough British actors and actresses, so I don't see why you would have to choose someone else. It's kind of joking about a little kid being able to do a British accent that well. I don't think that's going to happen, and I do think that for sure they should be British if possible, which we know it is. So.
And then the next thing he said is it's a fear of HBO. They like to sexualize characters in their shows and like really turn up the MA.
For sure.
So I guess it's more of a statement of the fear of them doing that. My first thought is like this was announced. I touched on this in our last episode. This was announced like the same day and like at the same time that they announced Max, which seems like a rebranding of HBO Max to like fit with their merger of, I'm going to get it wrong again, Discovery? It's right there. I don't know. Is Discovery or Paramount? I think it's Discovery though.
It's Discovery.
Yeah. So with their merger of that network or acquisition or I don't know what it is, but it's a more family network. I think this being announced at the same time and like starting out with 11-year-olds and stuff, I don't think that it would flow well if they did that, and I think they know that.
I hope so. I don't want it to do the Gossip Girl thing where it was like, yeah, Gossip Girl had some sexual stuff like in the original show, but man, that reboot was insane. Like I couldn't handle it. I was like, all right, I'm done here. This is not my thing. Too much sexual stuff. I don't want it to all be about that. Like this is supposed to be just like a magical.
It's supposed to be whimsical.
Yeah, like
it's a kid's school. I mean, naturally there's going to like be attraction between people as the years go on.
Yeah.
It's a boarding school.
Like I touched on relationships, obviously. I think they're important, but I just think they can be done in a way that's not like over sexual. I can't think of a show off the top of my head that they should do it like, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to. I mean, I think that what I will say is I don't think they're going to shy away from like the darker things that happen in the series. I know I talked a little bit about how it's going to be weird how it starts out almost like more kid friendly and grows up into like probably a TV 14 or mature show.
Yeah.
But I think it will. And I think that they're going to have that dark stuff.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to make it really freaking cool.
But not like sexual stuff.
But yeah, I don't think they're going to force stuff in. There's already so much content.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I really hope that they like don't turn this into Euphoria or whatever.
That would be quite the twist. Yeah, no, I don't think there's enough in the books even for it to go that route. I think Ginny makes out with
some snogging.
Snogging, yes.
Yes, I'm sure there'll be some Dean Thomas snogging around the corner. But yeah, I mean, I welcome that.
Yeah, that's fine. Like that's in the book, so that's fine. But other than that, hopefully not. Yeah. It's a good fear though. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you, James, for sending those questions. If anyone else who's watching this has anything they want to say, post in the comments. We'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think there's just a couple like headlines we want to cover here, so we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I said a couple. It's one, and it's like big time rumor. So I saw on YouTube on a Retro Raconteur YouTube video, who I watched him a lot during the pre-Hogwarts Legacy phase of my life.
Nice, shout out.
Yep, shout out. Good videos, good content. He found that WB Games had a job listing for an unannounced upcoming AAA game. And it's presumed that this is Hogwarts Legacy 2. If not, then maybe it would be Hogwarts Legacy downloadable content or an expansion of some sort. But calling it a AAA game makes it sound like a sequel. After he posted the video, they actually updated the job posting to remove that line. So I know that like the community manager, Chandler Wood of like Hogwarts Legacy or of Avalanche Studios watches his videos. So maybe he alerted them. I don't know. But that could signal two things. It could signal that there isn't actually a sequel and it was a typo, or maybe ChatGPT put it in. Or maybe he's like, we don't want this news getting out just yet. So, I mean, hey, just something to think about, because I would be excited if I have more stuff to nerd out about for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you need some content for the next few years until this happens. So we'll see.
Yeah, but that covers it, I think. So
yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for the thumbs up. I was pretty excited about that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, at this moment I think we might have 3 thumbs ups or something like that.
We have like
5.
I thought we had 9.
No way.
Okay, well maybe
Hold
not.
on.
Maybe not 9.
On camera checking.
We'll check.
We have
Who has the better
5
memory?
thumbs up.
5
thumbs ups. Thumb ups.
Oh, you know what I saw? It was the Reddit.
Oh,
it was on Reddit.
Our Reddit post has 9 upvotes.
Okay, I'm getting.
We have 8 subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing.
Thank you.
Humble beginnings, but we're happy to have anyone tune in. Yeah. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And let us know what we should work on.
Yeah, let us know if you'd love to hear anything.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.